Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to learn a little bit more about how to move the camera around. If you haven't noticed, the camera can be quite finicky and quite hard to deal with, so we're going to make the computer do a little bit of the work for us. So I have the same scene, the same character, the same path, the same camera. Now at this point you can delete a camera and add in a new one, or you can click on the camera that you do have in place, and we're going to go to the constraint menu on the side, and we're going to click on X, and we're going to remove that constraint. Now our camera jumps back over to the side where we originally placed it. We're going to change its origin point so that it will move where we want it to move, and we're going to press Alt-G to do that. Notice my camera moved all of a sudden back to the very 0, 0 spot. You can see on the graph here that it's right where the green and the red or the Y and the X axis cross, so it's at the 0, 0 point, and that's where I need it to start, because I'm going to add a path and I'm going to have my camera follow a path, and we're going to track the object at the same time. So to start with, we're going to make our camera track the object automatically for us. So now that my camera is selected, I'm going to hold the Shift button down and I'm going to select my object that I want to track. You notice that the camera turned to be like a reddish orange. That's what you want. At this point, I'm going to press Control-T. This gets up a different menu called Make Track. I want to track to constraint, and that's going to point my camera at the object at all times. So if I were to press A to deselect everything, I select my camera, you can see that my camera automatically moves what it's looking at all on its own. In fact, if I go ahead and leave it up about there and I play my animation, you can see that the camera automatically is tracking my object, and I didn't have to tell it what to do or place it correctly. It's just tracking the object for me automatically. Alright, that's part of the computer doing the work for us. Let's go ahead and move this down over here. I'm just going to move it back to the side a little bit, and we'll take a look at what the camera sees. Now the camera will have a little blue dashed line that comes all the way between it and the target, and it will tell you what it's pointing at. That way you can watch out for any objects that are in your way and move your camera, or realize that you're just not going to see the object, your character, while it goes behind an object. So let's go ahead and look through the camera's lens, and I'm going to play my animation. We can see that my character comes through and my camera follows it, but yet I kind of lose the object as it goes around because it's blocked by my other thing. So I'm going to change where my camera is, and I'm going to move it from one side to the other by following a path. So let's rewind everything to the beginning. I'm going to Shift A. I'm going to add in a path. I'm going to bring it down about here. I'm going to raise it up a little bit. Now it's telling me where the path will be pointing by the arrow that is on the X axis. I'm going to rotate that around because I want it to follow the path going the opposite direction. So now I have my path here. Let's move it this way a little bit. I'm going to head into editing mode. I'm going to press Tab. Yep, my arrows are pointed correctly. I'm going to go ahead and grab that vertice, move this back down over here a little bit. I'm going to grab the next vertice and move it up. And then the next one I'm going to just kind of move over. I want a kind of a little bit of a curve coming through and then ending up over on the other side of the objects to where nothing will be blocking my view. So I just kind of want a basic one to start with. Again, you can play around with it and make it kind of interesting on your own. And now we're going to go back to so I clicked out of edit mode. We're going to go back to our camera because I want to tie it in with that path. Now that we have our camera selected, we can see that we have an object constraint already. It's going to follow my monkey, which is Suzanne. I'm going to add another object constraint. I'm going to follow path. Now I'm going to follow the newest path that we made. We did not name our object, so the first one is just NURBS path. The second one we added is NURBS path 001. Clicking on there, and you notice that our camera kind of jumped around all over the place. Well, let's go ahead and clear that out. Let's go back to my camera. Now that I've got my camera selected, let's do Alt-G. That sends me back to clear out its location point. And then I'm going to, from there, I will add in the follow path, and we will select the correct path to follow, and notice that it jumps right to the edge of that path. There's no more of the bouncing around. So I need to make sure that I am auto tracking Susan. Doesn't look like it's set to auto tracking right now. Let's go ahead and clear that out. I'm going to make sure my camera's selected, select my target. I'm going to press Control-T, and I'm going to realign it to track my object. We can test what's going to happen here. So let me deselect that. Let me select my camera. Make sure that my path is animated. And then I'm going to click play, and we will see what happens. Now my camera is following a path. You can see the camera move. And it's also tracking the object. So it's doing this automatically. I'm not having to set up anything. And let's go ahead and rewind it to the beginning. Let's jump over to pressing 0 on the number pad, and I'm going to take a look at my camera view and see what my little video looks like so far. Okay, now I've actually watched the whole character move from one side to the other, and I haven't been blocked. Now you might want to say, okay, well, this is just a wee bit too close. You might want to change your camera path a little bit to make a better video. You might want to add some different things in, or change it to make it look the way you were wanting to look. But again, in this video, we went ahead and we did Control-T to make sure our camera focused straight on our object and stayed tracking our object. And we also did a camera to the path. We also learned about Alt-G, which takes our objects and puts them back to the 0 point in the world. And that way, when we grab it and we put it on a path to follow, it just jumps right to the edge of the path and is ready to go. All right, so on your assignment, I want you to go ahead and take your camera, track it to your object, make a path for your camera to follow, and now you should have two animations happening, your character and your camera. So turn that into a video and upload it for your assignment.